Friday, the Friday before a big football game, and I think all of you folks out there know what I'm talking about. If you're rooting for the Seahawks, I hope that we are all very happy on Sunday, and if you're rooting for the Patriots, well, I certainly hope you have a good weekend yourself. I just hope for a different result than you do as we do go into the weekend. From a weather standpoint, we are going to see another calm day of weather on this Friday before things do turn quite active this weekend. So for more on that, let's flip the camera around and let's get this weather update started. Pardon my finger here as I do flip the camera around. There we go, and there's a look at the Tri-Cities weather cam this morning. It's an image that has become so familiar, I should say, over the past week or so. Cloudy skies. At least we're not seeing as much fog today as we have seen in days prior, but again, an overcast day shaping up around eastern Washington and northeast Oregon once again for this final day of the work week. Now, in terms of temperatures today, daytime highs are going to be on par with the past couple of days, mid to upper 40s for many of us, mid to upper 40s in the Tri-Cities, mid 40s for the Yakima Valley today, low to mid 40s coming for the Kittitas Valley, with mid 40s for the Blue Mountain foothills. Everybody today will once again be looking at those cloudy skies overhead like we have seen over the past several days. Now let's talk about what is to come this weekend. We are going to be welcoming back that active weather. I already made a reference to that. Both Saturday and Sunday will have opportunities for some rain showers for Yakima and Ellensburg, Yakima County and Kittitas County. We are going to have those opportunities for showers arriving as soon as Saturday afternoon. For the Columbia Basin and out to the Blue Mountain foothills, we are primarily going to hold off on rain shower chances until Saturday evening. Sunday is trending like it will be a very damp day in general. In fact, moderate to heavy rainfall around the forecast area for Sunday. A perfect day, or I should say a perfect excuse maybe, to stay inside and watch some football. If you do have rooting interest in the big game coming up on Sunday, the Seahawks taking on the Patriots, well, Santa Clara is going to have some beautiful weather conditions at kickoff for that one. Temperatures in the 60s at kickoff, clouds and sunshine. Really cannot beat it, certainly cannot beat it for an outdoor game in February. So again, if you do have rooting interest in this game, the weather on Sunday is trending quite damp, so you're going to have a perfect excuse to stay inside and watch that contest. Now let's jump into the Storm Tracker Futurecast. Go Seahawks. I love that messaging. Go Seahawks from here in the Tri-Cities as well. Now, as we look at the Storm Tracker Futurecast, today again is going to be a very calm day of weather, but as we go into Saturday afternoon, or I should say as soon as Saturday afternoon, we are going to be looking at some of those rain chances working into Yakima County and Kittitas County. By the time we get to Saturday evening, the Tri-Cities, the Columbia Basin in general, out to the Blue Mountain foothills, will be looking at those rain chances too. Now, it is as we go into Sunday that we are going to see some exceptionally wet weather across the entirety of the forecast area. Again, this rainfall on Sunday is going to be persistent, and we could be looking at moderate to heavy rainfall at times. This would be one of those days I kind of consider maybe a washout scenario. Now, you can also maybe discern some of those blue colors in the Cascades. That is where we could be looking at some snowfall. Now, as we go into Monday, we're still going to be holding on to a good chance of showers for the Blue Mountain foothills. The rest of the forecast area, in terms of lower elevations, will be staying mainly dry. Maybe a few isolated showers for the Columbia Basin come Monday, but not too concerned about that. The best opportunities for rainfall on Monday certainly will be focused for the Blue Mountain foothills. And then for the Blue Mountains and the Cascades, we could be looking at some just light snowfall throughout the day. And then as we go into Tuesday, if you've joined us throughout the week, maybe our newscast throughout the week, I've mentioned that Tuesday is kind of a toss-up day, where we could be looking at maybe either some showers or some dry weather. Models have been kind of flip-flopping back and forth on if Tuesday will be a dry day or a wet day. It does seem that the drier solution is kind of now the preferred solution across model suite. So I believe Tuesday is going to be a dry day, and it does look like much of next week will stay dry too. Now let's talk about the mountain snow. It's not going to be a ton of mountain snow, but we'll take what we can get. By the end of day on Saturday, snow levels are still going to be so high that I don't believe most mountain passes are concerned or will be concerned about snowfall on Saturday. Maybe a little bit of light snowfall coming on Saturday evening for White Pass, but that is about it. As we go into Sunday, specifically as we go into Sunday evening, late afternoon, evening on Sunday, snow levels are going to be dropping off pretty quick, and we could be looking at some snow accumulation on Sunday, and you can see those numbers reflected on your screen. I tend to think that this map is overdoing snow totals a bit. on Sunday, but again, some snowfall over all of our Cascade passes on Sunday, certainly in the cards, and we could be looking at some light snow for the Blue Mountains on Sunday as well. And then as we go into Monday, a couple more inches of snow falling in the Cascades, and we could be picking up some light snow in the Blue Mountains on Monday as well. So not a huge snow making event. There's certainly no winter weather alerts posted, but if you are going to be traveling the Cascades or the Blues, especially as we go from the Sunday evening through Monday timeframe, be aware that even though it's not a ton of snow, it is enough that it might make the roadways a little bit slippery. Now, one more note I would like to make. You might be asking if this will help our snowpack situation. It will, but the snowpack situation is so dire that it is not going to be it is not going to be a huge kind of gain in the snowpack. And I'm actually going to go to an external source now for a better look at the snowpack, so pardon my cursor here. As we go to just kind of look at what our snow basins are doing, what I should say, how our basins are doing in terms of snow water equivalent, you can see that the numbers just aren't very good. I'm going to click on the Yakima Basin here. You can see only 43% of where we should be this time of year. And as I blow up this graph, you can see that we're nearly at record low numbers. The black line is where we are now. The red line is record low numbers. So you can see that we are close to those record low numbers, certainly far off from where we should be this time of year. And as we just kind of back out, that's a situation that is reflected kind of around the entirety of the area. As we look at the Middle Columbia Basin, it's a similar story. We're right now sitting at only 33% of where we should be. The red line is record low snow water equivalent. The black line is where we are now. And again, we are very close to being record dry on that snowpack. Green is where we should be this time of year. So again, definitely far off from where we should be. So when we're talking about snow numbers like this, again, it's good. Any little bit helps. But again, it's not going to make up huge gains. We need some big snowmaking weather events into our region to try to make some sizable gains as we do enter the spring and winter times, or excuse me, the spring and summertime seasons, because of course it is our snowpack that provides our water supply when we do get into those warmer times of year. So that's kind of all I have to say for right now. I'm going to flip the camera around just to kind of talk to you folks face to face. Again, as we go throughout today, we're going to see some calm weather conditions with cloudy skies. And then as we go throughout the weekend, we are going to be welcoming back in that active weather to the inland northwest. Some showers on Saturday. Sunday is trending like a very damp day. In fact, I would call Sunday maybe kind of one of those washout scenarios, and then maybe just a few lingering showers on Monday. The mountains are going to be picking up some snowfall, but not as much as we need to help with the current snowpack situation. So that's kind of the story through the weekend. Again, I know so many folks are focused on that big football game coming up on Sunday. Weather is going to be beautiful in Santa Clara for that one. So at least the football game is being played down there and not up here, so we can have some smooth sailing weather for the big game coming up on Sunday, as opposed to soggy conditions as they would be if the game was being played in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm going to flip the camera around one more time just so you can get a dreary look out at the Tri-Cities as we close out this Friday. I hope all of you have an absolutely tremendous weekend coming up, and take care, everybody. I'll talk to you again sometime next week.